Hi there, it's Shell, and we're back from having decoupaging our doilies. They're dry now, and we're going to just kind of look over a few things and see what else I need to do before I stick them in my book. So I want to show you this. This doily is really fragile. It kind of, I don't know if you can see that, it kind of has like little rips and stuff on it. Well, you kind of want your doilies to hold up over time. Well, any paper for that matter. And as they get older, they're definitely going to rip. But you can salvage this by either using some washi tape. So I got these two little washi tapes. Or perhaps using just like a piece of paper. You could cut this down into about the shape of washi tape and use that. Just whatever you want to use. I think that the washi tape is the easiest way to go, so I'm just going to use that. And I think that, you know, some of the washi tape is not very sticky, so it may not hold down, so I always tape it down. In fact, this one's not very sticky at all. So if you have a glue stick, which I have a few of them, but I couldn't find it right this second, I'm just going to use a little bit of my art glitter glue. That's going to work just fine and probably better than, you know, a glue stick would. And then I'm just going to glue that down. I just want to make sure that it's in the fold. Right here. And that will give me the strength that I need to add to my doily. So I'm going to let that dry for just a minute, and we're going to go ahead and put together the rest of the doilies and see if there's anything else we want to do. So I don't really remember which one goes where. I know I have one for each one, and I think I put this envelope, I think it went there, but that's okay. You can do whatever you want to with it. I think I'm going to put it right here. Kind of goes nicely with the blue of the wrapping paper and adds a little touch there. So I'm going to put these in because I want to see what we're dealing with. So I'm going to do this one. Didn't that one turn out so cute? I love that. And I think I'm going to put that here. See, it just adds just a little bit of color, and trust me, it's so much easier to do this type before you add before you sew them together. It's so much easier, and I have done them several different ways, and yeah, this is by far the easiest. So that didn't add a lot to this, but so we'll see what else we can do with that. Put these in here and see if I need to add more color. This is kind of like my blue section. It got a little bent, but I'm just going to make it work. What's fun about junk journals is, you know, people actually crumple up papers just to have crumpled papers. So it doesn't really bother me when, you know, my papers might get crumpled or whatever. I think I'm going to put that there. You won't see much of the washi tape, but it will, again, it will give it, you know, just a little bit of a reinforcement there. Okay, and let's put this little guy here. That's just cute, and you know, I use the same napkins throughout, and so it kind of brings the whole book together. Okay, so when you do start decorating and before you sew in your signatures, what I like to do is I want to go through each of these, and again, you want to see if there's anything that needs to be reinforced and anything that you may want, you know, to give just a little bit of color. So on this one, again, I didn't use a lot of coffee dye paper. I barely used any. But, so we're going to add a little bit of color. I'm going to show you a couple of ways that I like to add color. And you could totally skip this step, or, you know, be sure and share something that you like to do to add color. And I do this before, and I'll show you why. Before I sew in my signatures, I'm going to use this Worn Lipstick Distress Oxide. And I really wanted some pink in here, and I'm just going to use this little Tim Holtz pattern. So I really like the look, and let me show you. Sorry. But I like it where it's kind of halfway in on one side, and then it continues halfway on the other side. I just think that's an interesting look. And I don't want anything that's going to be too dark. I mean, usually I would probably use like Vintage Photo here, but I don't want anything too dark. So I'm just going to use something light and kind of just to add some color, you know, to our pages. So especially the really white ones. And I think I'm going to add a little bit of this other color I have, which is Picked Raspberry. It's a little bit brighter. And we'll add just a little bit more, you know, color. But I want it to be light enough where if you're journaling on here, that you can certainly just see what you're writing. So, see how that looks? I really like that, especially, you know, instead of just a plain white page. So, got a little bit much on that one. That's okay. See how that turned out? Just add a little something. So, go ahead and go through and do that if that's what you decide to do. And like I said, I just think it's so much easier and simpler, you know, just to decorate it before you sew things together. This one I want to do a little bit different, and I have some sprays. This is another fun way to add a little bit of color. I haven't used these yet, sorry. It makes some loud noise. I think I'm going to pull out my green, this, and this one. Maybe blue, I don't know. Maybe all of them. This one is, I know it says the color somewhere. Doesn't it show the color? Anyways, this one's like a gray. This is a blue. So I'm going to use blue, I think, for this one. This one has pigments on the in the bottle. It settles, so you want to shake it well. And if you're not sure about what color it is, maybe we'll spray it first on something else. So I picked these up at Tuesday mornings. It kind of sprays pretty dark, but I think it'll dry back. So we're just going to kind of spray this one, add a little bit of color. Let's spray this really pretty, it's a sunflower. And you know, you see sunflowers all the time that have been dyed, or you see Gerber daisies, which are my favorite. And this is fun to add. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to hold it up kind of high, probably about 12 inches, and spray. Kind of splattering. But see, and that's okay to me that it kind of goes all over on the paper. You can put this in a box and spray it, and you wouldn't have such a mess. I'm going to go ahead and spray it on this other one too. Boy, that's real drippy. Sorry, I shook it and went everywhere. Nah, you're okay. Okay. do one little spray. So that's another way, and again, if you do this before you sew them together, then you can get what you need to, and you can get it right in the middle. You could go ahead and do the back at this time, but I think I'm going to wait on the back. Sorry, there's a hair. I'm going to set it over here to dry. And let's see. Okay, I'm going to go to this other one here and see what I want to add some color to. And I want to add some to that same page that I just sprayed. But I'm going to pick up what's left of this, so it'll be like the reverse. So I'm just going to put it down and just see what it does. So that's 2 uses for your stencils in junk journaling. And it didn't do anything. I waited too long. Okay, let's do just right here. Okay, let's try that again. See if I can flip it over here and see. That's pretty though. Yeah, that didn't work very well. That's okay though. Live and learn. And I really just like colors on here. You don't have to, you know, do, you don't have to do stencils. In fact, sometimes I just take a color and just kind of spray it. I want to add some pink to this one. And I think I'm going to add it to this envelope. Just to add a little bit of color. I'm just going to use whatever color I have on my blender here. Try to get some of these guys out of the way. And that way I have pink and blue kind of going through both of these. There we go. I like that. So again, you just want to kind of decorate before you sew them, and you know, especially that one was so messy. It's another great reason to do it before. And these are some things, you know, that you would normally learn on your own, or at least that's how I learned, is trial and error. So, you know, it's just kind of yeah. Hopefully I can save you some of that frustration. Because, you know, you just don't. When I first did it, I pretty much put my papers all together and sewed them in. And I didn't do any of the decorating or anything like that. But I really think that it's so much easier to do the decorating first. Especially things like this. Oh, I should test this. Here's my... There we go. This one's really light. That might be really nice. So I'm just going to do this rose here. Ooh, I really like that. Very pretty. Isn't that pretty? Okay, and I want to add a little bit of blue. That's kind of like a pink. That's this kind of salmon-y color. So I'm going to go ahead and add a little bit of blue. That way it kind of, my colors go throughout the book. So I'm going to grab that same paper I put in the other two. And we're going to do some blue, I think. Let's see, what do we want to do this one? Let's do the blue through this. That's kind of fun. Okay, look at that mess. I've never used these. We just saw them at Tuesday mornings. And I thought they'd be fun to try. So I'm not sure if it's going to come off my fingers or not, but that's okay. Isn't that pretty? And then, just to kind of make it look like I had planned it like that, going to kind of spray a little bit of color. I'm going to cover up my fingerprints. But leave plenty of room to write plenty of color. Okay, so I'm going to let those two dry. Go back to my first one, which was this one. Isn't that pretty? I really like that. And it's dry now, so I'm going to look on the back, see if I want to do something on the back just to add maybe a hint of color. I really like that rose, so maybe I'll put the rose on here. Now, if you don't want to have overspray, you can certainly like cover that up. Like, here's my napkin. So say you just wanted the rose and you don't want any overspray, but you want to spray. So do it like that, get my color, shake it, and spray. See how dark you'd like it. And see how it turns out. Ooh, that's pretty. I like it. I think it's very pretty. We're going to go to our other one. We're going to do the same thing because I really like how that one turned out. So pretty. So I went ahead and included this in my junk journaling basics. I thought about not including it because it's totally an unnecessary step in the basics of junk journaling. But I thought maybe it might be important if, you know, for you to know how to do it or know when to do it, I guess, really in the junk journals. So that's why I went ahead and included it for you guys. So hopefully that will help you out. And I think we're done with that. I love the sprays. I love the stenciling, but the sprays through stenciling is just so fun to me. Put my lid on these. And because it doesn't take any time, I think that's my favorite part. It just doesn't take any time to do it, you know. So I just love these papers. How fun. I'm going to save this one for the last because it's still a little bit damp. But let's go to our first one. That one's still damp too. I think it was this one. Let me see how damp this is. That's not too bad, and it kind of adds a little bit of shimmer and shine. How fun. I think that is so fun. And then I think I had 2 papers with that one. I have them spread out all over because now I want them to dry. Okay, let me see what I'm doing here. Okay, this one is my middle one, I think. Yeah. So we have this little guy here. Put him here. And you don't have to do any of your, you don't have to color your white things. I just like to, you know, it just kind of adds a little something. So let's see, do I want to color this? I think I'm just going to spray a little bit of color on here. Maybe I'll use a green. Just use this really light one. Just to add a little bit of color because it is so white. Now you can certainly use stamps, and if you're going to stamp, you can do it after your signatures are put together. But I think if you're going to stamp like a little flower or something, it's easier, so much easier to do it like this. So I'm going to just try this, see if it's something I want to use. That's kind of bright, but I'm just going to kind of just add a little bit of color. I kind of like the dots and stuff. I think that's so pretty. I'm odd, I know. You don't have to leave me a comment and tell me that, because I already know. Oh, here's my other one that I did. Okay, I did that one, and I'm going to go ahead. Let's add a little bit of green to this one, just because we can. But see how long, I mean, that takes no time at all to do, you know. And I have like circles there, so maybe kind of rub it a little bit. Boy, that dried fast. Kind of soaked it in there. And you can go overboard. But I think that's fine. Why not, huh? Let's do one more thing, just to give it a little bit like intention. Let's do a green rose. You know, and I think that's my favorite thing about junk journaling is you can't mess anything up. If you don't like it, then cover it up. It's not horrible. I don't know if I like it that well, but I can always cover it up later. I'm going to put it down here because I'll probably put a pocket over it. Okay. Junk journaling basics, covering up your mess. Okay, guys. So I'm going to go ahead and put these back together. I think they're pretty much all dry. And I just want to try to remember what goes where. Okay, so that I know that doesn't go in here. This one goes over here because it's the outside. That was pretty though. I just love that. Look, I got some green on it. I like it. Okay, this one is missing this piece. So I'm going to go ahead and just stick this one in here. See how I want it. Like this. And then this one, let's put this one in. This one I think is where it went. Not that it really matters. But it just kind of adds a little bit of something. And it's just fun. You know, I always say if you're not making a mess, you're probably not having fun. My cats live up to that. Okay, and then this one, I'm going to go ahead and put this one in here. I love that. I think that's so pretty. Let's see, I think I want it like this. Let's put it right here. I like that. And let me find out where this guy goes. I know I have one of those in each signature, so figure out which one I took it from. Oh, and I wanted to add just something to this one. Okay, I must have taken it from this one. Isn't that pretty though? Okay, and one more thing I want to do before I call this one done, this video done, is I want to go back and look at these guys and just see if I want to add anything to them. Because there was one that was kind of white, and I really felt like it needed a little something else. And you know what? I think I'm going to decorate this one too. It's not that one. Just because I really like that pink look, the pink rose. I thought that was so pretty. And it's right here for me. I'll just cover it with my hand. That goes in that one. And then we will pull out one that I really wanted to, this one. The inside was just kind of white, so I think I'm just going to add some color to it. It doesn't have to have any rhyme or reason. Maybe I'll just put this in it. But, you know, you really can't tell, but just to take a little bit of the white off. So you just want to go ahead, again, like I said, you just want to go ahead and do anything that you want to get done that may affect the middle of your signatures before you sew them in. So anything that you want to spray, you know, if you want to add material or something, like say maybe you wanted to add a huge pocket, then you would want to do that now. But we will talk about pockets tomorrow. But I'm going to let these dry. We're going to call this one good for now. And I hope this helped you guys out a little bit. If you were worried or wondering what kind of glimmer mists I have, or sprays, these are Tattered Angel glimmer mists. And they have like a little bit of pigment that settles in the bottom, so you spray them and then they have a little bit of shine. So other than that, if you have any questions, be sure and leave them down below. Be sure and hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. We have a little bit more decorating to do before we start sewing in the signature. So probably one more video and then we will sew in the signatures. So thank you guys so much for watching. Be sure and hit that subscribe button and come back tomorrow for more on Junk Journal Basics. Thanks for watching, and you guys have a wonderful day.